Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another random match here on WWE 2K16. We are now continuing on with our, I don't know why it's put the big old WWE logo on there. We continue on with our WrestleMania preview matches as we see the triple threat for the Divas Championship. Charlotte defending against Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. A match which I'm actually really looking forward to this evening. If they give it enough time, based on what I've seen of these three girls working together in NXT, it's going to be a fantastic match. It really, really is. And I fully expect Sasha Banks to walk out of WrestleMania with the Divas Championship. For me, it's bound to happen. There's no way that Charlotte's going to walk out with the championship for me. I actually am a massive fan of Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch is my favourite of all the Divas, but I think it's clear for everyone to see that Sasha Banks is probably the better wrestler out of all the Divas. I'm not a big Charlotte fan. I think they've overdone it with Charlotte a little bit, and I don't think having Ric Flair there has really helped her. I think it's really just taken away from what she is. This is a really long loading screen. There we go, we're done now. Yes, I really think that having Ric Flair there has probably taken away a little bit from what Charlotte is, and it's annoying really because she's such a good wrestler on her own. Well, she can be a good wrestler on her own, and I think they should just stop using Ric Flair to get a bit of cheap heat for her. I think if it wasn't the fact that she was Ric Flair's daughter, I don't think she would have been first in line to get the Divas Championship on the main roster. I think it would have been Sasha, and I think the fans, as you can quite clearly hear every time Sasha is in or around the ring, the fans want Sasha to be the champion, and I think like I say, it's going to happen at WrestleMania. It's going to happen tonight, and it's going to be an amazing match. I'm sure of it. And Becky Lynch, like I say, I'm a massive fan of Becky. And I think her time will come. She will win that Women's Championship as well. But I think tonight, WrestleMania, is going to be Sasha's time. Triple threat, of course, does mean no disqualifications as well. So there is the possibility that Ric Flair might even get involved in the match. And I'm hoping he doesn't, because it would really just take away from what these three girls can really do and put on a fantastic match without him. But there's a possibility Flair could get involved, and there would not be any... There wouldn't be any disqualification or anything, so yeah. Ooh. So I've just noticed on my Twitter that Finn Balor's just tweeted a picture of himself, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows just saying it's Monday today. Is that some sort of hint about what could be happening? It's Raw tonight. That's just... He's a real tease, is Finn Balor. He does it on purpose constantly. He puts stuff like that online just to really tease the fans, and I think Balor Club, obviously Balor Club or Bulletproof, whatever they're going to call it, is going to happen next. It's going to happen on the Raw after Mania. It's going to happen tomorrow, surely. And here is the Divas Champion, of course, Charlotte. Held the belt now for quite a long time, actually, and it's nice to see the belt actually working sort of decently on someone. Normally it clips through the body quite a bit, but it's actually working quite nicely in this one. So yeah, like I said, I don't expect Charlotte to walk out of WrestleMania with the belt. I think it's more likely we're going to see Sasha Banks walk away. And then I'm actually... I don't know, I think it's more likely for Becky Lynch to walk away the champion than it will be for Charlotte at WrestleMania. I just think that Charlotte's had her time now. She's been the champion for a very long time. Obviously turned heel towards the end of last year, I think it was. So it must have had about 5 or 6 months now. And I'm pretty sure that Sasha's going to walk out with the belt. And I think that if Sasha walks out with the belt, it's going to bring up so many really good feuds that could possibly happen. And I firmly believe after WrestleMania as well, we will see Bayley move up to the main roster. I think, as I mentioned in some of the NXT TakeOver matches I did on Friday, I reckon that Bayley's going to lose the championship against Asuka at NXT TakeOver, and that will free her up to move to the main roster. And there it is, the Divas Championship. That's what they're fighting out for. And hopefully the game's going to give us a good triple threat match. There are sometimes some issues with the endings on triple threat matches, but hopefully this is not going to be one of them. Hopefully we're going to get a really good finish to this match, and it's not going to be someone just stood there watching the pin of two other people, because that does get annoying. Underway straight away. Becky went straight after Sasha, and Charlotte Jordan's going to go on that backbreaker. Big move. Becky just sends Charlotte straight to the top of her head. Now, the best thing about this match is that well, we can assume, quite safely now we can assume, that all three of these girls will actually be in 2K17. I'm sure 2K can't bugger up twice I can't understand why they weren't on this year's game. I know they said they didn't debut on the main roster until late, and there we go. I was saying about it being a no disqualification. Straight away, Charlotte's got a sledgehammer. I don't think Sasha Banks has realised yet. Oh, she's realised now. Sledgehammer right to the gut of Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch taking that sledgehammer away from Charlotte, and now interesting straight away that the game's AI went to using a weapon. That's quite clever, that. And oh, Becky just hip tossing Sasha, and her back went straight across the handle of that sledgehammer, and you see Sasha straight back up going after Charlotte now. What's a retribution after that hit with a sledgehammer? This is going to be a great match between these three at WrestleMania tonight. It really is. And if you are watching this retrospectively, I think you can probably agree with me that this was a fantastic match. So I can imagine quite a lot of these. I get quite a bulk of views in the first day when a video is uploaded. And I imagine we'll probably get quite a bit leading up to WrestleMania, but I think I will get a lot of views after Mania, so I know I'm sort of dating this video a little bit, but this is being uploaded on the day of WrestleMania. Great suplex there by Charlotte. And yeah, I have mentioned in some of my other videos about a potential roster split, and one thing that I have read some rumours of is that the marketing department of WWE have been asked to create separate intros for Raw and SmackDown. Now, this is absolutely fine. They've just gone into a new network. We can expect that to be a case of something that's happening. But what has happened with the new intros is that they heavily feature certain wrestlers, but the other intro doesn't at all feature them, if that makes sense. So Monday Night Raw heavily features John Cena, Kevin Owens, I think it was Brie Bella and Charlotte. Those are four of the stars that were heavily featured on the Raw one. Then on the SmackDown one, it heavily features Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, The New Day, Paige, and Becky Lynch. So that got me thinking, if they are going to go to a roster split based on those two intros, it looks like we're going to have a split on the women's division as well. And I think Charlotte's head may have hit that sledgehammer handle once again from that tornado DDT. Becky Lynch with the stroke there on Sasha Banks, now going in for the pin. One, and Charlotte was up quickly enough to break it up. So yeah, potential is there could actually be a roster split in the women's division after WrestleMania as well, which I think they actually have enough depth to do now. If you think there's probably maybe one match, maybe a stretch 2 matches on each show from the women's division, even with women's division of say 20 girls, that's enough to split across 2 rosters, especially if we'll see some move up from NXT, such as Bayley. I think Bayley will move up pretty soon. If she does lose the women's championship to Asuka, I can probably assume that we will see Asuka defend it at the next takeover against Bayley once again. But it might be the situation like we had with Kevin Owens, where she works both NXT and the main roster at the same time. But I think Bayley will be up in the main roster pretty soon because she is incredibly marketable. She is, for me, a female John Cena. She's going to get a lot of merchandise sold for WWE, so I think the quicker they get her up there, the better. See Becky Lynch there trying to... Oh, it looked like she was going to go to the top and try and capitalise on the damage done by Charlotte there on Sasha. Charlotte just taking Becky Lynch off the apron, now going for a pin. She could win this here. No, it was only enough for a 2 count. Now Becky's back on the top. Fought against what she was going to go for. Now catches Charlotte that boot to the gut. And there's that exploder-style suplex. In for the pin she goes, but Sasha's going to break that one up straight away. She does. And now both Charlotte and Sasha just taken out... Becky and Sasha taking out Charlotte. Becky with the backdrop on Sasha. Now again, Becky going up to the top. And Charlotte just almost set Sasha Banks up for Becky, then caught with a leg drop. Becky also does some damage to herself in that move as well. And Charlotte with a big knee to the face of Sasha Banks, and Becky trying to sneak in straight away with a pin, but Charlotte straight away breaks it up. It's actually been quite a good triple threat on this game. They sometimes struggle a little bit on this game. Sometimes you really have to... Each match does really feel different on this game depending on who you've got in there, and if you have 3 wrestlers that really suit each other, like this one, then it does work out quite well. It's just the ending you're always worried about. See, Sasha is down now, and Becky going to go for the pin, but Charlotte's just stood there, and she's just going to break it up straight away. Charlotte now the suplex on Becky. And now a shin breaker on Sasha Banks, weakening her possibly for the figure 8 leg lock. The figure 8 leg lock. And straight away, Becky catches Charlotte in the disarmer. Or if she locked in that situation at WrestleMania, she could win the championship there with the armbar now, rolling her over. Sasha struggling to get back up. Oh, but Charlotte had enough time to kick out of that one, and we almost saw a new Divas champion there and then. Sasha really struggling, still caught at one knee. Has she glitched out here? It's a possibility now in this game. I think she has, you know. Becky just stomps to the chest of Charlotte. Be interesting to see if one of these two girls do attack Sasha and sort of refresh her. No, Sasha's definitely glitched out here. Hopefully one of the other two girls can bring her back into it. It's not going to be the case though. 1, 2. Going there for a 2 count. Big kick to the back of Charlotte as well. Becky. There we go. Becky now re-triggering Charlotte, re-triggering Sasha Banks, shall I say, and she should be back in the match now. This has happened quite a few times now. Sasha now back up to a standing base as Charlotte looks to lock in that figure 8. But Sasha straight away breaking it up. And you've got to think that the Charlotte has already suffered a disarmer, so should Sasha lock in the Banks statement, then the damage already done by Becky could really help Sasha out. Great forearm there by Sasha, and Charlotte taunting Sasha. But Sasha comes straight across and catches Charlotte, that clubbing blow across the chest. In for the pin she goes, but Becky there straight away to break it up. It's been a great match between these three girls, even if it was for the little glitch on Sasha for a split second, but thankfully Becky re-triggered her. Sasha, great drop kick to the head of Becky Lynch. But Becky out of nowhere just skipped straight back up to her feet. Neck breaker by Charlotte on Sasha. Now Becky looking to continue the assault on Sasha. But Charlotte breaks it up. Oh, great suplex there by Charlotte on Becky Lynch. Now Charlotte looking again, maybe for the... No, she's got up in a torture rack. And drops into that backbreaker. Reminiscent of Abyss's shock treatment backbreaker. Charlotte now in for the pin, but Becky, of course, still there, breaks it up. Who is finally going to get the victory between these three girls? It's going to be interesting. Now, it's been a very, very even match between the three of them. Charlotte with a backbreaker on Becky Lynch. And Charlotte now in a situation with both of her opponents down. Can she capitalise? Well, Becky slowly getting back up to her feet. Sasha looks down and out on the outside. On the far side, should I say. Sasha finally getting back up to her hands and knees and back up to a standing base now as Charlotte just wrenching the back of Becky Lynch across her knee. Sasha again taking Charlotte down, that clubbing blow across the chest. And a big soccer kick to the back as well. But Becky catches Sasha straight away into that knee lock. Great move there. Trying to pick up the submission victory out of nowhere there. In for the pin goes Becky, but Charlotte is now back up and breaks it. Oh, Charlotte with a spear on Becky Lynch. In for the pin she goes, but Sasha managed to get back up to her feet just when Becky didn't see her. Scoop slam by Sasha there on Charlotte. And now Becky Lynch once again locking in the armbar, this time on Sasha. Is Banks going to tap? No, she doesn't. And Becky has to break the hold, and a big boot to the gut by Becky there on Charlotte. Now, Becky going for the pin. This could be all 1, 2. Oh, it's enough for a 2 count. Charlotte wasn't going to get up quick enough to potentially break the pin. And Becky looked like she could have won the match there on several occasions. And Sasha really struggling now with the damage being done by these other 2 girls. Becky taking Sasha up onto the top. And what has Becky got planned here? A Frankensteiner on Sasha Banks, who looks down and out. Charlotte now continuing on with that stomp to the face. Becky just watching Charlotte doing the damage. Now catches Charlotte that boot to the gut, but Charlotte down for the pin, and it's only enough for a 2 count. Headbutt to the back of the head there by Becky on Charlotte. I think what's going to take for one of these 3 girls to finally pick up the victory. It's so difficult to keep both your opponents down at the same time. What is Becky doing here? Some crazy headbutts there. And Sasha Banks out of nowhere with the Russian leg sweep on Becky Lynch. Looks to be going for some sort of leg submission there, but Becky managed to kick Sasha away. And this sort of saying, I think it's going to be a very good match if WWE give these 3 girls the time. If they give them a good 15-20 minutes tonight at WrestleMania, it really is going to make it a much better match. And Sasha here now lining up. Who's she lining up? Looks to be Charlotte. Becky slowly getting back to her feet as well. There's the backstabber. And Becky tries to hop straight into the pin, but Sasha says no way. And now Sasha going for the pin. And Becky returns the favour by breaking it up. But Charlotte really in trouble here. There's a snapmare by Becky Lynch now, just slowing the pace of the match down with that head scissors. But Charlotte breaks free. Sorry, Sasha breaks free. Becky with a backdrop. And Charlotte with a jawbreaker. She's going to go for here. There's a natural selection on Becky. And Becky's down. But Sasha's back up to her feet. And that's the problem with this sort of triple threat match. You've got to take both of your opponents out. Not an easy thing to do. Charlotte with a reverse DDT on Sasha. Might not be an easy thing to do, but when you're Becky Lynch and you've got a sledgehammer, it might not be too difficult. Sasha with a suplex. Now rolling the hips. She's going to go for the 3 amigos by the looks of it. There's the second. Rolls the hips once again, looking for the third. If Becky can take Sasha out of this one, she could have it. Rolled her up once again into that knee bar submission. Charlotte's down. She can't break this submission hold. If Becky can get Sasha to tap, she's going to be the new champion. She can't. And now Charlotte trying to sneak in with a pin. But Becky breaks up. I've not seen that before, the crawling across to the pin. That's a new one for me. These girls now just trading strikes. Charlotte with the electric chair on Sasha. And now a big clubbing blow across the head of Becky as well. Now Charlotte's going up top. What's she looking for? An elbow drop to the back of Sasha Banks, but Charlotte damaged herself as well there, I think. Slowly getting back up to her feet. And again rolls into the pin on Sasha Banks, but Becky just breaks it straight away. And Becky Lynch again with that disarmer submission. But Sasha was back up to a standing base to break it up. And goes for the pin on Charlotte, but again Becky's still standing. A lot of false finishes in this match. This match could have finished a few times. German suplex by Becky. If she'd held on there for the bridge and pin, that could have been enough. There's the spear by Charlotte. Becky needs to take Charlotte out if she can just grab a hold of her now. does break up the pin though. Backdrop there by Becky on Charlotte. Becky going up top, but Sasha's moved Charlotte away. That's not going to be good for Becky. If she holds on, maybe. There's the neck breaker, and there's the elbow drop. Great teamwork by Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. Of course, they used to be a team down in NXT. All three of these girls down now. It just takes one to roll over and get the pin. Becky does go in for the pin on Sasha. Charlotte's down as well. 1, 2, and there we go. That's enough. Becky does pick up the victory. Like I say, I'd love to see this happen tonight at WrestleMania, but for me, it's Sasha Banks all the way. There was a lot of false finishes in this match. There's a lot of chances for all three of these girls to pick up the victory, but it was finally Becky, and using quite a few little mechanics I've not seen before, like the crawling into a pin or just draping one arm over your opponent. I've not seen that before in this game. So it must be they've all taken so much damage, that's all they can do, and I quite like them little animations, really. And it was a clever little set of moves that really brought up the demise of Charlotte. There was the neck breaker by Sasha Banks, and then Becky with the elbow drop combination, which really took Charlotte out of the match. This was earlier on with that stroke. It really took Charlotte out of the match, and that allowed Becky to hit the backbreaker on Sasha Banks and slowly get into the pin. A lot of damage had been done. I thought this could have been it there as well. You saw Becky knocked off the apron, and that allowed Sasha to pin Charlotte. That allowed Charlotte to pin Sasha. It was only enough for a 2 count. There you go. Charlotte had been taken out of the equation. All three girls were down. It was Becky who managed to just about regain enough consciousness to get herself on top of Sasha. She hooked the leg as well, and as you see, Charlotte was just 2 down and out, and Becky Lynch wins the match and the Divas Championship. Like I say, I'd love to see this happen tonight at WrestleMania, but for me, it's going to be Sasha Banks that walks out of WrestleMania with the championship. She is probably the most over diva at the moment, and she has been for a very, very long time, and probably will be for a long time as well. But like I say, if Becky walks out, I'd be more than happy. As long as Charlotte doesn't walk out the champion, I think I'll be happy. I think we need a bit of a fresh look on the women's division at the moment, and Ric Flair is just far too involved in the women's division for my liking. Anyway, that is the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. We've got another 3 left for you in the next 3 hours. Of course, we've got Lesnar versus Ambrose coming up next. We've got The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon coming up after that. And then, of course, our last video of the day will be Triple H taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. If you have enjoyed this video, please do me a favour and hit that like button. It does help me out a lot. And, of course, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe for a lot more of these videos and a lot more to come up as well. If you do have any suggestions for random matches you would like to see being played out, then of course note them down in the comment section below, and I will get them all listed down and recorded for you as well. I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon for Brock Lesnar versus the Emperor.